2023 was rough. Despite never stopping training, my workouts were all over the place and my diet was non-existent. By January 2024, I reached my personal worst, weighing 97 kilos. That's when I decided to turn things around with the help of my Apple Watch. In this video, I'll show you how I got my fitness back on track using the Apple Watch. We break down the key feature I used, the change I made in my routine, and the result that I achieved. Because staying consistent is hard, no doubt about that. But we are lucky enough to live in an era where there is no shortage of tools like the Apple Watch. And I'm sure they can be very helpful if used correctly. The first main reason I love the Apple Watch is accountability. It's human nature to be subjective with ourselves, both in a positive and in a negative way. Personally, I am the worst when it comes to reviewing myself in all aspects of my life. And this is where the Apple Watch comes very handy as an accountability buddy that sits on my wrist all day, every day. It helps me track my strength workout, my running workout, my diet, my weight, and my sleep. In this way, I have actual data to base my decision off and measure my progress in training and diet. Countless times I felt I wasn't pushing enough during the workout, but looking at my data, I could see that it wasn't true. Or for example, sometimes you feel very low energy and you really don't know why. But by glancing at your sleep data, you can see that you slept poorly last night. And that's probably the reason why you don't feel okay. Of course, all these data should be taken with a grain of salt because the Apple Watch, like many other devices out there, are not perfect. But having some data is better than having none. Now, when it comes to working out, the area where the Apple Watch shines the most, these are the apps I use. For the weight training, I recently had an app on my iPhone that is called Heavy. Thanks to this app, I can have all my workouts directly on the Apple Watch. The setup process is really straightforward. You just have to log your workout into the app and then sync it with the Apple Watch. Keep in mind that this app doesn't create a workout for you, so you just have to have one of your own. I find it very helpful because I don't want to fiddle with my phone when I work out because usually I receive many notifications and messages. I can adjust the weight, see how many reps I've done, and also set up the timer directly from the Apple Watch, which is very helpful. 6 months ago, I integrated running into my fitness routine. I had no idea where to start, so I downloaded a bunch of apps until I found Runna. And Runna is a paid app that provides personalized training plans for running, and it has been a game changer. I never had any experience running, and having what it feels like a running coach on my wrist was crucial. The watch helps by showing everything I need on the screen while I'm running, the pace I should keep, whether I'm going too slow or too fast, my heart rate, calories, and distance. Without it, I wouldn't have broken the 30 minutes barrier for a 5K, as I showed in my previous video. By the way, if you're interested in starting running, you should check it out. But fitness isn't just about working out. Diet plays a crucial role also. Over these months, I used the watch to help me track the weight and my calories intake. As I said, in January, I was at my worst ever, weighing 97 kilograms. So I started to see a nutritionist. I already had some experience with dieting and especially counting macros. So I asked for a macro-based diet plan and not one with fixed meals. This approach helped me drop 10 kilos in 6 months without sacrificing the food I love. I know counting calories isn't for everyone because it can be very tedious. But once you build a good catalog of foods in the app you use to track your macros, like MyFitnessPal or Fat Secret in my case, you can add very quickly the food directly from your Apple Watch. For example, in my case, I keep Fat Secret on my watch face so I can just log my food with basically 2 clicks. Yes, from the Apple Watch you have access only to a limited number of foods, usually the one you eat the most. But let's be honest, we all eat the same stuff over and over again, so you likely found what you need. And the same goes for tracking my weight. I invested the whopping amount of 28 euros for a smart scale that could sync with my iPhone and with my Apple Watch. Every morning I open the scale, click the application on the Apple Watch, and my weight is synced within 2 steps. You might have noticed a common thread in these tips, that all of this can be done without an Apple Watch. However, in my years of training, I noticed that reducing friction to the bare minimum makes it much more likely that you stick to your plan. The Apple Watch helps me to stay consistent without thinking too much, because it's very easy to use and it's always on my wrist. Another key aspect where the Apple Watch is super helpful is counting steps. It's a basic function and may get overlooked, but I noticed that when I was working from a co-working space here in Rome, I used to walk way more and it was way easier to connect control my weight. Compared to now that I work from home and I don't work as much, I leave the house only to go to the gym and to run. This is definitely something I want to improve, because even though I consider myself fit again, I don't think it's very healthy to have this massive difference between not moving at all and training super hard. So a very smart way to take another steps towards achieving your goal is increasing your step count. No pun intended. I don't want to give you a specific number like 10,000 steps, for example, because it's completely made up and there is no scientific evidence supporting it. Instead, if you already have an Apple Watch, take a look at your step count over a specific period, let's say a month. If you think there is room for improvement, try to increase it by 2,000 steps every week by, I don't know, going for example in a different coffee shop that is farther away from your usual one, or hopping off the subway one stop before yours. Do this for a while until you reach a step count you feel comfortable with without feeling it's a workout on its own. It needs to be something you don't even think about it. All of these strategies culminates in sleep. If you don't sleep enough, this whole getting fit again goes right into the trash. I'm not going to say how much you need to sleep because there is a ton of video out there, plus it's very personal. What can I say is how to use the Apple Watch to track your sleep and get some useful insight. For example, over the 2.5 years I've used the Apple Watch, I noticed that I need a bare minimum of 7 hours of sleep to function. The way I did that is by setting up a sleep schedule on the watch so that, again, all this action can be automated and I don't have to think about anything except having a good night of sleep. You can do it by going to the Health app, Sleep and your schedule. I set mine to automatically activate at 11:30 p.m, which is when I usually go to bed, and to end at 10 a.m. with no alarm. The reason I didn't set any alarm is due to an annoying problem in the iOS Sleep app. If you set an alarm in this setting and for whatever reason you decide to sleep after your alarm, the watch will stop recording your sleep. That's why I set my alarm directly in the clock app and have my schedule end at 10 a.m. because I very rarely wake up later than that, even if I go to sleep very late. So there is no risk that my sleep is not tracked. Again, remember that these are not exact data, so try to match the way you feel with your sleep data and act accordingly. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you find it helpful and let me know in the comments if you have any other use for the Apple Watch that I didn't mention. As always, see you in the next one. Ciao!